Hi guys, today I'm excited to introduce you to my project, Smart Preservation Solutions. I'm focused on finding sustainable, affordable, and accessible alternatives to plastic to reduce food waste and save money. In this presentation, I'll take you through this problem we are trying to solve, our solution, the benefits it brings, and why you should try it too. We live in an age of convenience, but that convenience often comes with a long-term cost to the environment, the economy, and even our health. With this project, I want to explore whether a slight change in the way food is stored can have a huge effect in the long term. So let's start. Food preservation is a global issue. Every year, about one-third of all food produced ends up wasted. That means we are not just throwing away food, we are throwing away all the resources used to produce, package, and transport it. This waste represents both an economic loss and a serious environmental burden. When food rots in landfills, it releases methane, a greenhouse gas more potent than carbon dioxide. Our choices in food preservation, like what materials we use and how we store items, can impact both our household spending and wider system-level costs. In today's spotlight, I will explore how something as simple as repurposing in a paper bag can actually help reduce both waste and costs. In the US, an average household loses about $1,800 each year due to food waste. That's a significant amount of money that could otherwise go toward other needs. Fresh produce is the most commonly wasted category because it spoils fastest. This means we waste not only the food, but also the money and the energy spent growing, buying, and storing it. The environmental costs are also huge. Methane released from rotting food in landfills is 25 times more harmful than carbon dioxide. So, reducing food waste is not just a personal cost issue, it is a climate issue. Plastic wrap is convenient, but is single-use and non-recyclable. On average, households use about 24 rolls per year, costing around $120. Over time, plastic wrap doesn't actually preserve moisture well. It can trap condensation, which speeds up spoilage. Moreover, plastic pollution contributes to long-term environmental damage, meaning indirect costs keep rising. Paper bags are breathable, which helps reduce moisture buildup and slows down spoilage. This makes them ideal for short-term food storage. You don't need to buy them either. They can be repurposed from grocery shopping bags like those from Starbucks or Trader Joe's. Compared to plastic, paper has a much lower environmental footprint. It can be used to wrap bread, vegetables, or as a layer inside the fridge. Plus, they are often free or cost just 10 to 25 cents. The main goal of the project is to compare plastic wrap with paper bags as food preservation tools. I want to see which one performs better in freshness, cost, and sustainability. Unlimited, I'm looking for a method that is not just eco-friendly, but also practical and cost-effective for everyday use. To test the effectiveness of both materials, I designed a simple experiment. I cut 2 slices of apple and store them for 24 hours, like the picture, one in plastic wrap and other in a paper bag. To make the experiment more informative, I tracked visual changes in the food, such as browning, moistening, and coagulation. I also considered texture and odor to simulate the decisions an average consumer might make before eating or discarding food. This setup simulated actions that the average consumer might take at home, allowing us to relate the data in real-life decisions. After 24 hours, the apple in plastic wrap returned moisture but had visible condensation, which can encourage spoilage. In contrast, the paper bag apple lost some moisture but showed no condensation and appeared less soggy. This suggests better breathability and aligns with USDA recommendations on storing certain produce in breathable environments to reduce microbial growth. Overall, paper bag was more environmental friendly and did not worsen the appearance of the food. Though simple, this comparison provides useful insights into how material properties influence preservation. Paper bags performed nearly as well as plastic wrap in preserving apples. They prevented moisture buildup and kept the food looking presentable. Visually, apples in paper bags looked more appealing, with less sogginess. This can affect how likely people are to eat and not throw away the food. While my experiment only lasted 24 hours, it mirrors real-life consumer patterns where short-term storage is common. Many people will store leftovers or cut produce for a day or two, especially students and small families. By focusing on this time period, the experiment highlights that material choice not only affects freshness, but also daily behavior. Fewer damaged items also mean less need for repurchasing, saving money over time. Okay, let's stop here for a moment of reflection. Think about your own household. What's a rough estimate of how much food you throw away in a typical week? Is it a few pieces of fruit or leftovers you forgot about? And now, think in terms of cost. If you had to guess, how much money do you think that wasted food is worth in total each week? $5, $10, or more? It adds up quickly, and when you multiply that over a year, it becomes a significant loss. Let's continue. In summary, paper bags are an easy, low-cost, and sustainable food storage option. They work especially well for fruits and vegetables. Other studies have shown that reasonability helps prevent aerobic swellage, which is common in plastic containers. This makes paper a more adaptable choice in warm or variable climates. An overlooked benefit is the reduced need for refrigeration. If reasonable packaging can naturally slow food spoilage, families may be able to go longer between purchase, saving both time and labor. Small shifts in daily behavior, like choosing paper over plastic, can have a big impact when adopted widely. Even for tricky items like cut fruit, the paper bag method showed great potential. It is a reminder that sustainability can be simple and accessible. When we look at the cost breakdown, the numbers speak for themselves. Using plastic wrap costs an average household around $120 per year, while using paper-based alternatives like parchment or repurposed grocery bags cost just $25 to $40 per year. This means you could save between 80 to 80 to $95 per year just by making this switch. And that's not even counting the money saved by reducing spoiled food. When you factor that in, the total potential savings can reach up to $150 total. Financial savings are important, but I think environmental impact matters just as much. About 95% of plastic wrap ends up in landfills, where it sits for hundreds of years. Paper bags, especially those made from recyclable materials, consume less energy and water in the production process and release significantly less toxic residues when they decompose. Using less plastic means less oil consumption and less energy used in production. It also reduced the methane emissions caused by food waste trapped in non-breathable wraps. Switching to paper-based solutions can lower a household's carbon footprint and help us avoid borrowing the problem for future generations. Let's zoom into the household level. Switching from plastic wrap to paper bags alone saves around $100 per year. If you include reduced spoilage of produce and dairy, that adds $200 to $300 more. And using long-term containers instead of disposables adds another $50 to $75 per year. Altogether, a family could save up to $500 per year through smart food storage practice. What happens if many people make small changes? If just 10% of the U.S. households reduce spoilage, it could save about $18 billion annually. That would lower the strain on waste service, reduce emissions from food production, and help shift the food system toward a circular economy. A nationwide shift in storage habits is also sending signals to a variety of industries. Increased demand for environmentally friendly packaging is promoting retailers to choose paper over plastic and driving innovation in compostable alternatives. This is how consumer behavior extends to systemic impacts. It adapts supply chains, redesigns products, and aligns with global sustainability goals. So when households change their storage habits, they participate in something bigger, like creating a ripple effect that affects manufacturing, retail, and climate outcomes. It is important to be transparent about the limitations. Results may vary based on climate, humidity, and how food is stored in different regions. My tests only focused on a few food types, mainly produce. I also need more research on how long parchment or kraft paper holds up over time. Lastly, these materials don't eliminate the need for proper refrigeration or smart storage planning, and the costs will vary by region. Some parchments may cost more upfront when purchased in bulk, but will cost less later if reused. The big takeaway is that Smart food preservation often offers low effort but high reward. With just a few small changes, we can improve sustainability and save money. It's also ideal for students and young adults who want to build eco-friendly habits without sacrificing convenience. Paper bags, reusable packaging, or better containers habits can all help foster a mindset of conscious consumption. And when enough people adopt these habits, they turn into long-term positive impact. In the long run, these are not just food-saving techniques. They are lifestyle changes that combine personal values with environmental action. Here's something simple you can try this week. Switching out one item. Replace plastic wrap with a paper bag, or replace disposable containers with a reusable one. Track your food waste and savings for a month. Share your experiments. Share your experience. You might be surprised by how easy and impactful it is. Change doesn't have to be big to matter. It just needs to start. Now, let's open the floor. What methods do you currently use to preserve food? Were you surprised by the experiment results? And do you have other creative or affordable food saving techniques that work for you or your family? Let's learn from each other. Thank you for joining me today. I hope this presentation gave you some useful insights into how small changes can bring real benefits for your wallet, your health, and the planet. Thank you.